Calm down. It's just a little water. I can handle a little water. Oh my god! Woo! Yama, you're scared the shit out of me. Hey guys, it's Katie and welcome back to Lucid and Inciting Incident. I just wanted to address something before I start playing this episode. Now, in previous episodes, we've had like kind of like a memory flash of like things that Yama like remembered or that he was thinking about. In one of them, we seen a picture which seemed like a family portrait of him and his family, and it looked like he had a sibling. From what I can tell, it looked like he had a sister. Now, in the last episode, we've seen another memory flash, and I actually slowed it down when I was editing it, and it seemed like his sibling, which I think is his sister, was shielding him from like something. Like, I think something had impaled her. I don't know if she's alive or she just got hurt, but we're still finding out about that. I just wanted to like let you guys know that that's what I found out. So in the last episode, we went on the Ferris wheel with Rue. She gave Yama a kiss, and on our way home, we ran into a police officer. Now, when this happened, I guess Yama had a lapse, which is like kind of like blacking out, and he couldn't remember like how he got home, like him making dinner or anything like that. And when he went to sleep, it kind of filled in the memories for him of what happened. But that kind of concerns me because, you know, when that happens, like Yama doesn't really know like what he's doing or who he really is. So it really does concern me. So in the morning after Yama wakes up, Shigure tells us to turn on the news, and the news confirms that there are 3 disappearances, and Yama gets all freaked out. He messages Rue thinking that she's gone missing, and he runs to the forest like a crazy man. And I don't know if it was the forest that was like tricking us to thinking that like she had died or whatever, but we ended up running into another police officer that we've seen in a previous episode with Elizabeth and the brown-haired girl. Her name is Natsuki, I think it is. But anyway, he tells us that we're on the top of the suspect list because it is a crime scene and bodies have been discovered there. So I don't know, man, like I'm wearing my lucky pin, the moment is right pin, because this playthrough has been like really uppity, really happy, and I know this is a horror visual novel, so it's like the good times aren't going to last forever, and we're probably going to be faced with like some pretty hard decisions coming up. So I'm really nervous. After the forest, Yama gets a ping from Mizaki on the school's rooftop, and he runs over there thinking that Yahiko was confessing to Mizaki or something, and we ended up getting dragged into a film shoot with Mizaki. And then when we parted ways with Mizaki, we went to GFC, met up with Rue, Yahiko, and Masato, and we all decided to go out, have some fun. We ran into Airi, and we asked her if she'd like to do some karaoke with us. And we are now at Cafe De La Paix to do some karaoke. So let's jump back into it. You better not have chosen something weird, Yahiko. Don't worry, I chose the opening to my favorite anime. Wait, wasn't his favorite anime Super Heart Magical Girl Lyrical Chan? Rue pales as I struggle to hold back my laughter. Good luck, Rue. By which I mean this will be hilarious. This song is called Lovey Dovey Magical Heart Prism. She must regret going first. Rue timidly touches the screen to start the song. An energetic, bouncy tune begins to play, accompanied by Yahiko enthusiastically bobbing his head. Love is friendship. Love is magic. Love is... Oh god, her high-pitched voice combined with off-key vocals pound my eardrums mercilessly. Love is everything, sugar and spice and everything nice. I love you forever and a day, forever and a month. I love you forever and a year. She curls into a little ball on the stage as the song finally comes to a close. Is it over? Is it? Yes, it's over. I'm free. We manage to clap politely as Rue descends from the stage. her knuckles white from gripping the microphone. So, how was it? I have to choose my words wisely here. It was colorful. Yep, it had personality and depth, an original performance. Original in more ways than one. Thankfully, the others nod with me in agreement. Rue smiles at my vague compliment. Thanks, guys. Masato, are you going next? Yep, lay it on me, Rue. What did you choose? I don't know. I picked a random song. I wonder how this'll turn out. My song is called... He immediately expels a stream of vulgar words into the atmosphere. I didn't even know so many inappropriate terms could fit into one song title. I take a quick peek outside to make sure there aren't any little kids around. Okay, guys, you ready? No, I'm not. Here we go! I've never heard so many expletives sung in rapid succession like that in my entire life. The look on Rue's face make it seem like she's been scarred. Even Airi's eyes widened throughout the performance. Thankfully, the song is even shorter than Lovey-Dovey Magical Heart Prism. Our misery is short-lived. That was awesome! Thanks, man. What'd you guys think? He looks expectantly around the room, but Rue and I fix our gazes on the floor. I shouldn't have picked a song at random. An awkward silence pervades the room. I guess it's my turn. She walks to the microphone with a dispassionate expression. She doesn't seem to be even slightly embarrassed, which I find surprising. You should be honored. This is a good song. Oh, please don't let this one be as bad as the last. Airi gives the screen a brief glance, but shows no reaction at the title she sees. She only picks up the microphone and immediately starts the song. A rather lively ensemble of drums, bass, and guitars play, characteristic of rock and roll. Airi grips the microphone with the charisma of a professional. Oh, this is so cute! I love the artwork in this game. It is so pretty. She taps her right foot to the beat of the drums, and when the lyrics pop up on the screen, she puts her lips close to the microphone. You're from Mars, and I'm from Earth, and you were birthed a hero's birth. What the? Am I hallucinating? Is this beautiful voice really Airi's? Whereas I, just born as little old me, in a small town, normal as could be. Wow, she's actually great. No, better than great. She's amazing. You're hot, and I am cold, and neither of us do what we're told. I can feel the powerful emotion coming from her angelic voice. It's like she was the original singer. But don't you see that this could be a sign? Her dance movements are perfectly synchronized with the lyrics. I feel as though I'm attending an actual concert. That we were meant to be. Aw, she's so cute! I can feel the joy emanating from Airi as she sings. Her face is lively and filled with energy, a stark contrast to her normally expressionless face. That we are totally complementary. I love those lyrics. The song completes its last beat, and Airi, panting heavily, places the microphone back on the stand. She wipes the bead of sweat from her forehead. She then immediately regains her usual poker face, as if what had just happened was merely a dream, and approaches us, awaiting our judgment. How did I do? How did you do? That was the best singing by far. Her performance was probably on the same level as a professional singer. Your singing is wonderful. You should do an encore. Hell yeah, it was right good. I guess it was all right. I mean, at least it was better than Rue's singing. Yahiko! He's starstruck. It was great, Airi. You have an amazing voice. I didn't know you liked those types of songs. She gave a slight nonchalant shrug at my words. I don't. They are too easy. Wow, she thought that song was too easy? Now I'm curious as to how she would have sounded if Masato had picked a more difficult song. Well, now it's my turn. Let's see what song you chose. In a similar fashion to the rest of the group, he hops up onto the stage and looks down at the screen. Oh, you chose one of my favorites, Death by Devils. That doesn't sound too friendly. I picked it randomly. Not another random selection. I'm worried about this one. Okay guys, give me a sec to warm up. This song's a doozy. Oh yeah, and I'm going to complete this playthrough 100%. I know that the characters' images keep going missing, but I've already committed like 9 episodes to this game so far, and I don't feel like just like quitting on it. You know, I feel like it deserves, you know, to be played all the way through. So, alright. He clears out his throat multiple times before grabbing the microphone and starting the song. A blast of heavy metal bursts from the speakers. I cover my ears from the sudden spike volume. Yahiko must have increased the volume. Yeah! Oh my, what is this? His scream almost knocks me backwards. The others are just as dumbstruck as I am. The devil sends this demon at me. I got no choice but to fight for my own survival. I don't know, I'm trying. I can barely hear the lyrics he's shouting out. It's more like he's screaming in tune than actually singing. It's actually not bad, just strange. Come on, come on, come on. Get it out, pound it out, yeah! He stomps on the stage, hands sweeping up and down in an imaginary air guitar riff. He stomps on the stage, hands sweeping up and down in an imaginary air guitar riff. Falling into darkness, the wrath of terrors pass, sinking over my head and clawing at my last. He powerfully leaps up, landing with a finishing, resonant chord. I can feel my heartbeat slowly returning to normal. So, how was I? Honestly, it was a lot better than what I was expecting. It was definitely different, but not in a bad way. I ain't never heard someone sing like that before. Man, how do you scream like that for the whole song? Nothing to it. You just gotta pick up the microphone and scream as loud as you can. And when you feel like your throat's about to fall off, you keep on screaming. Masato stares blankly at Yahiko, as though he just asked the dumbest question to the dumbest boy in the world, which he did. Well, I guess it's time for me to pick the winner. In my opinion, Airi won by a landslide. Now all I have to do is... Hold on a sec. I forgot to mention that the winner has to sing a duet with Yama. Wait a minute. Great idea, Masato. Dang it, Rue. She knows that I don't like to sing in front of other people. She's just trying to rub it in. Maybe if I stall for some time? Come on, hurry up and pick someone. If I can't escape the situation, then I'll just have to pick the least deadly poison. Yahiko will most likely pick another Screamo song. In that case, all I have to do is scream in tune for a couple minutes. Or I can choose Airi. She sings so well that it would easily overshadow my horrible singing. Do I get to choose? I want to choose Airi! The problem is, if I pick Airi, that would convey some weird messages. I tried to send her a subtly apologetic look as I turned to Yahiko. Well, Yahiko, are you ready to belt out another one? Of course I am. Excellent choice, my good minion. I'm clearly the best singer here. After Airi's performance, I'm not sure I can agree, but he's certainly not incompetent, that's for sure. Rue and Masato, on the other hand, seem to disapprove of my decision. They're staring at me like I had just made a terrible mistake. Here's this really nice slow one called The Reign of 20 Years. I'd have done it earlier, but it's a duet. Wait, a slow song? Yeah, it's a slow, powerful ballad. I'm looking forward to hearing this. Oh crap. If I had known this would have happened, I would have picked Airi. I can't sing slow songs. Nevertheless, Yahiko starts the song, which is hailed in by an elegant piano intro. Oh, the campfire is a-glowin', the clouds brew in the sky. I set my pen to paper, thinking of you tonight. He nods at me eagerly. I feel sick. Don't you see that we'd be perfect? 'Cause, darlin', you're divine. I can't continue while Airi looks passive as ever, and Rue seems to even, dare I say it, enjoy my singing. Masato is doubled over in laughter. I quickly plop the microphone back onto its stand. Huh? What are you doing? I'm morally opposed to singing this song. Why? You're not that atrocious. Gee, thanks, Rue. But we just reached the best part. And with one large breath, he bellows in a vibrating warble. The reign of 20 years falls to the earth in tears. We instinctively clap our hands over our ears. Note to self, screaming is not the same thing as singing. I stand on the hill, my arms extended. Make it stop. Somebody, make it stop. Heck, even Airi is wincing in pain, and that's saying something. Oh, the mountains, they sing their songs. Someone yanks the cable on the karaoke machine, and the music abruptly cuts off. I send my praises to the heavens. Hey, I was almost at the bridge. The cable dangles from Airi's fingers. It's getting late. Yahiko clearly deflates at his lost opportunity to belt, but I quickly grasp this chance to end our misery once and for all. We'd better head out before we get into trouble. I hurriedly usher the group out of the room, and we return the key to the counter. Then again, despite all the terrible singing I've heard, the experience has been pretty fun. When we reconvene at the main street, everyone seems pleased, but worn out. Phew, that was an afternoon well spent. Now, that's a good way to end the weekend. So, we heading back? Yep. Actually, I've got some errands to run around here. We'll join you. No, I'll be fine. It's, for women's things. Yahiko instantly pales, but Masato only nods in understanding. I, on the other hand, raise a curious eyebrow at Rue. She has never, ever used that kind of excuse in the 10 years I've known her. She notices my question and only shakes her head with an odd little smile. See you guys later. She dodges into the nearest store, disappearing among the crowd. It's almost my curfew. I'll head back with you, minion. What are you gonna do? Me? Actually, I don't have anything planned for the rest of the evening. Maybe I should visit Mr. Ryota's office and say hi. I'll drop by the school. You got it. Goodbye. We part ways and take the subway back to the academy. As Masato and Yahiko enter their dorm, I head to Ryota's office. Mr. Ryota seems surprised at my unannounced drop-in, but not displeased. He ushers me into his office with a faint smile. Interesting. Didn't think I'd see you. Do you have an appointment soon? Who, me? Nah, I'm pretty much a free bird after I verify curfew. Why do you get paid again? Hey, you clearly don't know how difficult my job is. I have to sit here and wait for kids to scan themselves in the building and report the ones who don't by at curfew time. Doesn't necessarily set oneself up for popularity. No, I imagine it doesn't. So looking into the disappearances, are you? I'm surprised at his acute observation, but I really shouldn't be. Mr. Ryota has proven that he's intelligent, even with his attitude needs a little work. I noticed that the detective was with you yesterday, you know, on the roof. Does that mean you're gonna stop me? If the school has something to hide, then Mr. Ryota would be the one tasked to stop me. Ha, now why would I do that? What? Look, kid, there's a lot of security around the school. Lots of regulations, privacy contracts, anything you can think of and beyond. As faculty, I can't share any personal information on the students, or I get in massive trouble. But there's some stuff that you really need to know. People's lives are on the line. Lives? Don't act dumb on me. You must have figured out by now that these are murders. I had a hunch, but when he says it so flatly, I lose my breath. 3 students who had once lived normal lives full of homework and social drama and extracurricular activities were now gone. The reality of it seems very cold and bleak. So, what are you saying? Doesn't it really bother you, kid? Murders are happening, but no one's telling the public. They're just mysterious disappearances that are blamed on a bunch of trees. Well, it does suck, but the government has always hidden all kinds of things from the public. You're saying that you're okay with that? What if the next disappearances is me, or Masato, or Rue? I can't answer that. Just this morning, I was stricken senseless at the mere thought that Rue was the next disappearance. I'd even boarded a bus and gone all the way to the Izumu forest. I'd completely lost all rational thought. You're right, but what are you saying? All I'm getting is that I need to know stuff that you can't tell me. I'm not allowed to tell you. That doesn't mean I can't. Do you get what I'm saying? It means that he wants to save people, but he could lose his livelihood. Sharing confidential information won't just result in a pink slip. He could be blacklisted from every future job. He's trusting all that on me? The world's most serious NDA. Will you sign it? I appear to have this trend of making dangerous agreements recently, so sure. Mr. Ryota's shoulders dropped just slightly, relaxed of a tension that I hadn't sensed. Of course, all the burden is on him. If I break my promise, he'll be the one to pay, or if someone overhears, he'll be the one to pay. I'd better take him seriously. So, what do I need to know? There's a weird trend in the victims that I thought you should know. I'm guessing there's a reason why you're not informing the police? Heh, you got me. What exactly does that mean? The police are our best bet for catching this killer. What could I do compared to them? And what is this weird trend? Give me a moment. He reaches into his drawer for his faculty tablet, tapping rapidly on its surface. A moment of waiting passes before he graciously bangs it on the table. Gah, I hate computers. But we'd all be dead without them. He continues on. The distant look in his eyes clearly shows that he's thinking of a fonder time. You know what was great? My desktop iPair. Man, that was the best. Stable, awesome, and a killer whirl of the fan. You guys don't know how satisfying it is to hear your computer work to keep itself cool. That's kind of weird. No casual user has desktops anymore. Oh, and icon phones. Man, phones these days break if you breathe on them wrong. Icon phones? They could probably survive a nuclear blast. There we go. Finally working. He punches rapidly at the tablet screen, then apparently satisfied, settles back into his chair. What an old man. Let me browse through for a quick refresher. As his eyes rove over the screen, his mouth settles into a thin, disturbed line. Right. You know how the entry student application to the academy requires a psychological analysis by a qualified physician, yes? Yeah, another security measure, isn't it? Let me read this and see what you think. Midori Mayano, the first disappearance, chronic social anxiety, suspected autism. She was an artist, holed up a lot in her room, but she made the most beautiful paintings. Toyoma Hayashi, the second disappearance, always out on the party scene, kind of a screwed up kid to be honest. He was always causing trouble to get some attention, had to slap him on the wrist a few times for vandalism. He was practically Michelangelo when it came to drawing the lower half of the male body. Okay, so they're both in the art department. That's weird, and they both have problems. Thanks, I totally didn't need to know that. Akane Tsukino's the third victim. She's a really sad story, had a lot of potential. That name still sounds familiar. She was the vice president of the student council and the star of the badminton club. She just accepted a special internship at Lemniscate too. That sounds like a lot for one person to handle. It was. Her family put a lot of expectations on her shoulders. She was their key to a better life, you know. A breeding ground for depression, if you ask me. Scholarship winner? And she had a boyfriend. How's that? Crazy. I pause at that. Something feels disrespectful about questioning the sanity of the dead. So, those are the three victims? Seems like they had some concerning psychological problems. I mean, they're all perfectly acceptable levels of mental illness, but there's not a single average report. In fact, most of the conditions sounded pretty serious. Serious and confidential. I can see why Mr. Ryota was reluctant to tell me, but this pattern really could be the key to unlocking the mystery. Thanks for telling me. I'm kinda curious, kid. Why are you taking this so well? Sorry? You just found out that 3 students at your school were murdered. That's pretty unsettling news. It is, really. Death, a permanent condition, something that students really shouldn't have to face. My reaction must seem odd. Should I be hyperventilating? On the contrary, this is pretty refreshing, but also concerning. I'll admit that. Well, I won't question it tonight. It's getting pretty late. You better get going. It's not safe for students to be out and about anymore. Thanks for the info, Mr. Ryota. More than that, I'm thankful he was able to trust me. I leave the school after Mr. Ryota gets a campus security patrolman to escort me home. Seeing policemen inside campus unnerves most students, so they're mainly kept for border patrol, making sure that no one enters or leaves the school. I barely see them, to be honest. They probably don't act unless something suspicious crops up on the gate sensors. Alright, Shigure's calling us. Hello? Where are you? Her voice is clipped, leaving no room for any extra conversation. Good evening to you too. Your services are required, now. I'm a little taken aback at the shortness of her tone. Seems like some urgent business. Okay, I'm in front of the school. Very well, I am nearly there myself. Don't move. Sorry? She just hung up on us. Well, that was unexpected, if I'm honest with myself. What kind of business could Shigure have at this time of the night? Ishiyama. Shigure struts out of the shadows, her face completely expressionless. Did it occur to you that I might have things to do tonight? It did not. Come, this way. She turns on her heel and begins to strut down the sidewalk. We travel in complete silence, definitely a first. I'm only able to bear it for about 10 minutes before things get too uncomfortable. You know, if you're mad at me, you might as well just say it. I should discuss these psychological problems with Shigure. No, what am I thinking? She'll wonder if my sources are accurate. I'll either have to tell her my informant, or I'll have to drop the issue. And knowing Shigure, even if I don't give her the identity of my informant, she'll figure him out eventually. Oh, we're back at the place where we took the task that she gave us. Shigure takes a turn into an area that I instantly recognize, for better or for worse. Nothing is as welcoming as the smell of rotting litter, cigarettes, and traces of burning drugs. I cover my face with my sleeve in a vain attempt to block out the foul smell. Isn't this District 6? Don't tell me. You're giving me another test, aren't you? Why isn't she saying anything? Eeh. A quiet Shigure is far more unnerving than an abusive one. I almost miss her cannon of verbal assault. We have arrived. She gestures to a large beaten-down apartment complex before us. The dilapidated buildings and littered streets around us don't do wonders for this district's nority, that's for sure. What are we here for? An inkling in the back of my mind whispers, to kill you without anyone seeing, but I shove it into some crevice of my brain. Shigure withdraws a simple index card from her jacket pocket, showing it to me. This. There are only 3 numbers written on it, number 338. What's that, an apartment number? She only nods. I follow her down the path between the apartments, surreptitiously glancing around for any signs of suspicious figures. This is definitely not my idea of a vacationing spot, that's for sure. Finally, Shigure comes to a short stop in front of a door with the number 338 emblazoned on it. She clears her throat for a second, takes a deep breath, and knocks lightly thrice. Give me a minute. The voice that comes out within the apartment is light, feminine, and nothing like what I expected. It's followed by sounds of scraping, shifting, and screeching, as if a number of heavy objects are being moved around the room. Come in. Shigure tries the doorknob, and it turns with ease. She pushes open the door, and I step inside, unsure of what to expect. The front room is neat, tidy, and utterly plain. The only messy feature is a few cushions scattered idly about the floor, topped with several popular magazines. Well, if it isn't the great detective herself. Wait. Is this the Natsuki girl? My attention turns to a large couch near the center of the room, upon which lounges a small frame girl. Her clothes are edgy but neat. Although her eyes are a deep chocolate brown, they're some of the coldest I've ever seen. Wait, but that Natsuki girl, She has green eyes, I believe. So this can't be her, can it? I swear that I've seen her before. What brings you to this side of town, Inamoto? Shigure sits on a nearby cushion stiffly. As always, I'm deficient of requisite intelligence. Oh yes, you're always lacking in intelligence. Shigure bristles. Of the informative sort. The girl only smirks and turns to me. The predatory glint in her eyes snaps everything into place. Natsuki Tanaka. Why is her eyes different, though? I am almost 100% sure that they're green. Is she wearing contacts? The interesting, unnerving friend of Elizabeth Oshiro. The way she sits, the clothes she wears, even the color of her eyes, they're all drastically different from school, but I know with certainty that she's the same person. The angles to her expression, the tilt of her posture, it's the exact same. Oh, how interesting. I thought that I'd have a swarm of questions, that I'd be shocked, but I'm not. Not really. I almost feel like a small part of me had been expecting something this odd, especially from Natsuki. Is being a student just a cover, or are you actually one? To be or not to be, surely, that is the question. Shigure clears her throat impatiently. As content as the two of you appear exchanging pleasantries, I am here regarding a matter of urgency, Natsuki. Natsuki raises a single eyebrow. You know my price. Ah, yes. How much yen shall... Don't feign ignorance, Inamoto. It doesn't suit you. Your almighty brain should be able to remember something as trivial as my currency. Shigure flushes at this. What? Certainly you didn't think I would forget something as important as that. Shigure mumbles something indiscernible while pulling her cap over her face. Maybe that's why she was so quiet. She wasn't angry at me. She was dreading coming here. What would you have me do? Natsuki catches my eye, a mischievous glimmer in her gaze. What's your favorite animal, Ishimoto? And do choose something reasonable, not a duck-billed platypus, yes? What for? She only winks at me. I guess I'll have to give her an animal to find out. I don't know. Dogs are my favorite animal, so let's choose dog. I don't know what this is about, though. Dog, I guess. She smirks at Shigure, who sends me a look of horror. Ishiyama, we will need another talk concerning your pay. Natsuki cheerily vanishes into the adjacent room. When she emerges after a few minutes, she's holding a full-size dog costume. Put this on, Inamoto. What the heck? Grumbling, Shigure yanks a costume over her clothes and zips it up. Wait, what? What is up with this girl? She's so creepy. There, satisfied? She really did put it on. Give me a nice loud bow wow. Bow wow. Seeing Shigure so subdued is pretty unnerving. I can't believe that such a proud person would stoop so low. Just what kind of person is this Natsuki? Now, Yama Ishimoto, a dog is incapable of speaking English, so you'll have to be Shigure's mouthpiece. Before that, however, I believe we have some catching up to do. What are you, an ordinary, ignorant civilian, doing caught up in nasty business like student murders? What? Oh, I work for Shigure. Well, I'm gonna save. I work for Shigure. Dear Inamoto picked you to work for her? Oh, isn't that precious? Two useless fools bumbling around together. A washed-up, headstrong detective who is blinded at the first sign of murder, and an irresponsible, selfish teenager who takes nothing seriously. At least we're trying to help. You're right. We're still learning, but at least we're trying to help. It would be better for you to leave this to the professionals. You can't exactly say that the police are doing a much better job. Please, the police are about as professional as taco-selling clowns. Are you not aware of the pathetic state of their CCTV coverage? Why, one can hardly see anything that happens around the city. I'm sure Inamoto found this as an unpleasant surprise while she was investigating into the school. Really, the students' obsessions with privacy is just adorable. Think how easy the killer could be caught with a few more camera installations. She knows who the killer is? Is that what she's saying? Then who are these so-called professionals? People with knowledge. Knowledge is power. Hence why we want it. Oh, for what purpose? I'm gonna help others. I'll use it to save lives and stop this repulsive killer. Oh, how childish. I'd rather be childish than be a pretentious jerk. She only laughs at this. You're cute. Maybe I should keep you. Can I keep him, Inamoto? I will... She waves her index finger at Shigure. What are dogs supposed to say, Inamoto? Bow wow. I think that means I can keep you. Her treatment of Shigure sends a spiral of nausea straight to my gut. What a deplorable human being. I don't even have an answer for her. That Yama's right. This girl is just messed up. Natsuki evaluates my expression for a long moment, and something in her face changes slightly. Would you like a drink? Well, that wasn't sudden at all. What, are you gonna poison it? That's a bit of a rude assumption. Not exactly a baseless one. I do show courtesy to my guests. Yeah, because you've been so very courteous. She continues to examine me, a slight smirk pulling at her lips. Good to know you aren't as weak as you appear. Would you like coffee, tea, milk? Some manners would be nice. She ignores this, heading out of the room. She faintly calls behind her as she leaves. I wonder what our little puppy should have. I do have a rotten bone I've been meaning to throw away. Maybe she can chew on it. Shigure huffs at this, but keeps her mouth shut until Natsuki has completely left the room. Then she pulls herself over to me, her voice low and urgent. Take control of the conversation and get the information. I can't stand much more of this. How am I supposed to do that? I don't even know enough about the case. Natsuki has amazing connections. She has information a lot of others don't, and so long as I pay her what she wants, we can get it from her. What am I supposed to ask about? Shigure opens her mouth to answer, but at Natsuki's approaching footsteps, she quickly shrinks back into her cushion. Natsuki re-enters the room, placing a glass of iced tea before me and a glass of water before Shigure. I surreptitiously sniff it, which she catches. If you don't mind indirect kisses, I could sip it for you to prove it's not poisoned. I'll pass. She smirks, settling on the couch. Guess this is my chance to ask some questions. So, how do you and Shigure know each other? Shigure shoots me a dark glare as if to say, what does that have to do with anything? But I ignore it. As you may have noticed, we have this symbolic exchange from time to time. I have information that she needs, so she pays me for it. How can we know that this information is reliable? You could be lying to us. Natsuki raises an eyebrow, seemingly impressed. Inamoto thought the same on our very first interaction, so I gave her a free trial period. She's yet to find me wrong. Isn't that right, doggy? Well, bow wow. And there you have it. She turns to me expectantly, as if waiting for my move. I wonder what I should ask about. Ooh. Okay, let's talk about the victims first. Tell me about the victims. There are 3 to date and a 4th on the way. How do you know that? A criminal never stops until his goal is met or he is caught. If neither of those occur, there will be a 4th. Do you know his goal? I know it's not met. The victims appear to have no rhyme or reason to their disappearances, but that is false. Everyone is simply looking at the wrong thing, including you. Which means, well, instead of looking for a connection between the victims, it would be best to look for a connection with the killer. Which is difficult to do if we don't know who the killer is. I wonder. This topic is looking like a dead end. I need to try something else. Alright, the culprit. Tell me about the culprit. These are serial murders, aren't they? Oh, certainly. What would you like to know first? Age, legal name, address, social security number, place of residence? She's joking, right? She has to be joking. Obviously, if such things could be so easily known, the police would not be scrambling for clues as they currently are. Joking, of course. There's no way it could be that easy. So, what can you tell me about the culprit? Well, for that, you may have to do a little thinking on your own. Consider this. The number of student disappearances has skyrocketed just recently. Why? Because the killer just got started? With such clean getaways? Then the killer is working with someone? A valid possibility, but think simpler. The killer changed targets to the academy? I wonder. It would be more useful to interrogate a teapot. I decided to try a different line of inquiry. Alright, links or ties. Is this case related to any other cases? Or perhaps there's some info that we can merge? Ah, now you're asking the right questions. You know, the two of you have been so exemplary that I'll give you a little treat. What do you say? Sure, I guess. Natsuki doesn't seem to be fazed by my lack of enthusiasm. She slowly leans forward, enunciating each syllable with painstaking precision. The independent killings. These mean nothing to me, but Shigure immediately bolts upright, her eyes glimmering with excitement. Tanaka, you must... We're not in Narnia, Inamoto. Talking animals do not exist. Shigure sullenly settles to the ground, but I can tell that this is a vital breaking point. What are the independent killings? For the past 2 years, 2.5, perhaps there has been sporadic brutal murders all around Izumo. Innocent civilians with no relation to one another were massacred in the most terrible of deaths, left as bleeding corpses in the streets. The only connection was their time of death, which was always at night, and their autopsies, death by blood loss from uncountable lacerations. Uncountable lacerations? My head spins. My vision from the forest this morning re-enters my thoughts. What does that even mean? They were cut to pieces, skinned alive, sliced until the life bled out of them? Is Natsuki implying that the 3 students at the academy went through something like that? How? How could no one know about this? The police did their utmost to conceal knowledge from the public, lest even more chaos fell into the city. We deserve to know when these things happen. Oh, Ishimoto, the last thing you want to do is tell a herd of sheep that there is a wolf in their midst. The way she says this, as if she's right and that all there is to it, irritates me, but I have to push it away in order to continue the conversation. So, you're saying that this case is the same as the independent killings? Did I say that? Then the killer is the same? Did I say that? Well, what the hell? You're gonna give us information but not, like, say yes or no? Like, what's the point in that? Shigure leaps forward, words tumbling excitedly out of her mouth. The killer is one and the same. For the longest time... Hush, Inamoto. Remember, dogs can't speak. Shigure withdraws, a dark glare in her eye. Why do you treat Shigure like that? You can say that even after seeing how she treats everyone around her. She pretends as if everyone around her is trash beneath her feet. I'm simply giving her a taste of her own medicine. That's not exactly the best line of logic, but I guess if I had power over Shigure, I wouldn't want her to forget in a hurry. Still, this method just feels wrong. Even I have a hard time stomaching her treatment, and I'm not even going through it. It'd be better if I could consult her. I'm not sure what to ask. Then, how about something more interesting? Such as, She lounges against the couch. Well, for one, yesterday you were in a most compromising position with Ryota on the Ferris wheel. How does she know about that? A bolt of ice plunges into my stomach. I thought she only knew general information, mystery information, crime information. How could she know about that? It seems there's quite an interesting story behind that. Who told you? You presume that someone needed to tell me in order for me to know. Did you access the security cameras? That's certainly an interesting possibility. Nothing she says is satisfactory. Nothing. How did you know? How did you know about that? The same way I know that you were in District 6 3 nights ago on Inamoto's ridiculous capacity test. The same way I know that you watched a most entertaining, albeit mindless robot fight at the theme park. The same way I know that your apartment key code is the frankly pitiful 14789. What? She pauses, her eyes glittering in amusement. Womanly intuition. She's insane. I make it my business to know everything, Ishimoto. I work to speak past my dry throat. No one can know everything. No one. You're right. I just know everything that matters. I raise the glass of iced tea to my lips, but my hands are shaking. Why are you telling me this? Because, well, I have a little message for you. She elegantly rises to her feet, but her eyes have regained their cold sheen. Back off, Yama Ishimoto. You don't know what you're dealing with. She grabs a glass from my frozen hands and heads to the kitchen. Don't forget the animal on your way out. Shigure, who's seething with a mixture of rage and humiliation, promptly rips off the costume. Tanaka, you were with... Natsuki swiftly whips around, staring Shigure dead in the eyes. Then, in one fluid motion, she stuffs something into Shigure's pocket and whisks into the kitchen. Shigure stares at whatever Natsuki gave her, then motions sharply to me. Ishimoto, we are leaving. Now. Dude, that was so freaking creepy. I do not like that girl. I have a really bad feeling about her. She knows information about Yama, Rue, what Yama's been up to. Like, she asked us those freaking questions in class, like asking if I have like split personality or like an identity disorder. I don't know. She's like the number one on my suspect list. I don't even get a say as I'm forcibly dragged out of the apartment and back to the street. We stagger into the cutting night air, out of breath and stooped over in shock. I take a moment to gather my thoughts before I can force out any words. Why did you bring me here? To be miserable? To show me I was in over my head? To give me yet another reason why I'm an incompetent subordinate? I can't handle her alone. I don't think we handled her together. Actually, that was the most bearable she's ever been. Either my Shigure translator just became embedded in my subconscious, or this woman is speaking like everyone else. Not only that, but she actually gave a compliment that wasn't backhanded. Who is this imposter, and what has she done with Shigure? Nevertheless, Ishimoto, you're fired. What did we do? Why? Wait, what? Did she just call me by... But wait, she's firing me? Yes, I'm firing you. You have fulfilled all necessary services. I no longer see reason to expend resources on a useless assistant. She seems almost back to normal. Almost. But it's too abrupt for me to believe that she's being genuine. If you interfere with my work, I will have you detained. I have connections with the police. I would prefer not to use it, but I will if I must. Why? Oddly enough, Shigure seems to falter at this simple inquiry. It's for your own safety. You must trust me. Trust? That's a nice word. And this has nothing to do with Natsuki's warning and how I should stay out of this? Oh, yeah, maybe she's just trying to protect Yama. Like, obviously Natsuki knows, like, what we've been doing this whole time, so maybe, okay, she's on the top of my suspect list, but like I said in previous episodes, it seems like there's two people working together. maybe even more, because when they were in the forest together, they were like, should I bring the others? So how many people are involved in these killings? I really don't know. So many questions. Okay. Truly, you were my assistant for a reason. What's that supposed to mean? It is of little consequence. You were fired because you no longer fit the job. I clenched my jaw to hold back a pulse of anger, which was basically being an errand boy. Pardon me if I fail to see the extensive qualifications that an errand boy needs to fulfill. Let me tell you my own theory, huh? The independent killings. You know an awful lot about them, considering that they're supposed to be hidden from the general public. You were involved in those cases in some way, weren't you? And when you noticed that 2 students had disappeared from the allegedly impervious academy, something clued you in that they had to be tied to the independent killings. Maybe it was evidence, probably just intuition, considering you had to get Natsuki to confirm it for you. Ishimoto, you do not understand. So you saw that students were disappearing from the academy, and 4 days ago you decided you needed to get inside and figure out for yourself what was happening. But security's tight. You couldn't hope just to snoop around unless someone willingly let you in. In the midst of my indignant wrath, the puzzle pieces began to shuffle into place, pulling together faint memories that I thought I'd forgotten. So you had to approach a student. You had to make a specific connection, someone who would let you investigate the school without asking any questions. You hired me before you were officially brought into the investigation, after all. Well, it's true, isn't it? You just needed to use me to access the academy. That's why you approached me on the street that day. Go home, Ishimoto. She says this wearily. I can only sigh in disbelief. Then, what was that test for? Why did you sent me to some place that was dangerous, some place I couldn't handle. But I had, and I did, and I solved all her stupid little puzzles. I had proved myself fair and square. For what? Being tossed away like garbage? No, now I understand. What upsets me is not that Shigure approached me with ulterior motives. I expect ulterior motives from everyone. What upsets me is what she's doing now. Tell me how. Ishimoto, tell me, Shigure, how do I prove myself? Give me some riddle, or a logic puzzle, or I don't know, a complicated piece of Sudoku. I'm supposed to help, supposed to be your assistant. Shigure slams her foot into the nearest trash can. It doesn't topple, but the reverb of leather against tin stops me in my tracks. She leans close, eyes narrowed with intensity. Ishimoto, I will only say this once. You may think you fully understand the circumstances which surround these crimes, but you are sorely mistaken. Do not be so quick to forget that I am nearly a decade your senior, and have seen a great many cases that are beyond your comprehension. I speak not of your intelligence, but of your mental capacity. You are yet very fragile, Ishimoto, and this case may break you. That didn't worry you before. Then let me ask you this. Are you ready to physically examine a body that has been masterfully taken apart by a sadist with all the time in the world? No, just the thought makes me queasy. There has to be something else I can do. Enough. I tire of this conversation. This is my decision, Ishimoto. I will be certain to compensate you for the time spent until now. Go home safely. So, that's it then? Because I'm still young. Because I'm too unstable to be able to see a mutilated body. I can't be of any use. Shigure, farewell, Ishimoto. Let us not meet again. And just like that, she turns on one heel and strides away. For a moment, I stand frozen on the streets, watching her figure melt into the smoky evening air. Didn't I want a quiet senior year? A year of breezing by with my friends, no fuss, no muss? I had always wanted a quiet life, probably something that involved managing the family restaurant, which I had neither passion nor patience for, but seemed like the least painful option in the lot of life. Really, I can't blame Shigure, can't I? No, some part of me still feels like I deserve a better explanation, maybe even a reward. After all, didn't I get her something vital from Natsuki Tanaka? No, that's right. information that I gathered from a confidential informant. Perhaps she doesn't trust me, but neither have I been trusting her. If anything, this encounter only solidified my decision. I don't know what will happen. I can't predict the actions of people who are close to me. All that's left is to look around and keep digging, try to pull things together myself, even if I'm just a random student at a random stuck-up school. Which means I need to start with anything weird that's happened over the past few days. Weird? Such as emails from unknown senders sporadically popping up. That's right! There was a freaking message from like a Crimson Crusade person. Pretty convenient timing when I think about it. Maybe I should just send something random, see how they respond. So it's Sunday. Almost midnight. Stupid troll wisdom to crimsoncrusade@lemnipost.com. At first I thought there was nothing stupider than doing something that made no sense, regardless of whether I enjoyed it or not. Today changed my mind about that. There are things worth doing, even if, at first glance, they make no sense. There are things that can be appreciated, even if they serve no use. There are things that deserve to be given a chance, even at their worst. But I didn't realize this until too late. Now, to head back home and get some rest. Guess it's been a long day. I dream of pools of sludge and laughing bones and shards of glass spitting across the edge of my skin. I wake up in a cold sweat with my heart thumping against my ribs. For a moment, I can only lie there breathlessly, struggling to recollect my thoughts. It's over. You'll never have to do stupid, dangerous things again. You no longer have anything to do with those crimes. Unless, of course, it's by my own violation. I throw on my uniform and head to the kitchen, selecting some simple fruit for breakfast as I scroll through my phone. Okay, it's Monday now. Looks like I have another email from the mysterious Crimson Crusade. The plain, honest words are a soothing balm in the midst of all the deception I've undergone. I compose a valid response. I see. Life as a troll sounds quite difficult. I, too, would be upset if I was forbidden from forecasting the weather. How do you feel about this development? I don't know. This was the first time I actually felt like I was good at something useful. Now that it's gone, I have nothing. If I had another chance, I'd take it eagerly, but I doubt I'll get one. I send the message as I finish up breakfast, waiting for a response. This time, though, I'm only greeted with silence. Maybe I was too philosophical. Maybe I was too serious. Maybe they won't respond again. Not that it's my problem. When it's clear that the reply won't come anytime soon, I grab my backpack and head to school. I mean, if Yama likes, doing the detective work, I mean, he could always go to school for that, you know what I mean? It's not like this thing with Shigure has to be the be-all, end-all thing, you know? Despite the beautiful weather, the atmosphere is stifling. The entrance, usually occupied by students before class, is desolate. Curious, I head to the courtyard. It's almost just as empty. Only a handful of students are scattered around the corners, whispering frantically beneath their breaths. I notice a solemn Yahiko on a nearby bench, speaking with an equally solemn boy. It's such an unusual sight that I creep closer, trying to get a hint of their conversation. Why is the music so creepy at school? Usually it's fun and bubbly. Yikes. Would take it so hard. How's he been? Hanging in there, I guess. He said that he wasn't coming today. Why not? Didn't say. He's been spending a lot of time in his dorm, though. He won't respond to me. And he just talked with Airi. Airi? Why would that matter? Come to think of it, Airi has always been surrounded by rumors. Even before, people accused her of being the source for disappearances. If I remember correctly, it wasn't that she caused the disappearances herself. Rather, she supposedly emitted this aura of bad luck that indirectly led to their misfortunes. Pointing fingers is usually unnecessary, but this is getting weird. She talks to Midori, Midori freaks out, then disappears. Then it's Toyoma who freaks out and also disappears. Even Akane. And Shoji too? Yesterday, she came up to him at lunch. He won't tell me what they talked about, but he's also acting differently. For now, just keep trying to talk with him. Whatever you do, don't leave him alone. Right. See you after class. Yeah, you hang in there too, okay? As always. The boy strides away. Yahiko slumps on the bench, dropping his hand over his eyes. It's so out of character that I have to pinch myself to make sure I'm not dreaming. When I decide that I'm fully awake and that serious Yahiko is actually a thing, I approach the bench. Hey! Yahiko immediately bolts upright, all signs of tension melting from his face as he dons his characteristic smile. Why, hello, my good minion. What brings you to this place? Why is Yahiko acting so strange now? Like, he was just having a serious conversation, now he's like acting all happy? He can't tell us what's going on? That's suspicious. Still, I'd prefer that he not know I was just eavesdropping on him. I play along. Do you know why the school's so quiet? Do I know why the sky is blue? Do you? Do I? He seems back to normal, if this is what his normal state really is. Oh, right, I remember. Apparently, the police dug up some body in the woods or something. It caused a big uproar. Why? Well, it was one of the disappearing students. You remember her, Akane Sukino. That name definitely sounded familiar. It's not just from the investigation. Her boyfriend's a wreck, the poor sap. Her boyfriend? Boyfriend? Akane, a disappearance, a boyfriend who was worried sick. She must be the girlfriend of the guy who I'd fought with the other day. Right, they were blaming Airi for her disappearance, and I stepped in, and right in her boyfriend's face, I told him he'd get over Akane in a week or two. Her body was found? Well, what was left of it? What was left of it? Hold on, something's beginning to make sense. That police officer, Officer Katsu was it, said that I was on a crime scene. In that case, when was her body found? Don't tell me. Yesterday, or so the rumors go. Yesterday morning? Yeah, how'd you know? An immense wave of guilt washes over me. Akane Sukino, dead. I vaguely remember the harsh words I'd spewed at her boyfriend. Shochi, was it? No, Shoji. How could he be feeling now? You'll get over her in a week or two. I said that. I said that even when I thought he was clingy and irrational and blaming Airi. But now, she's dead. Brutally murdered in the depths of the Izumu forest without a single soul to mourn her passing. On the bright side, if there is one, I now understand far more than I used to. Why Officer Katsu was at the forest. Why he claimed it was a crime scene. Why Shigure asked me to go look. Because a body had been found. An actual body. Hey, you okay, dude? Looks like Yahiko noticed my silence. I can only continue my line of inquiry. At the very least, maybe I can somehow help the investigation, even without Shigure. Shoji's the name of her boyfriend, right? Yeah, do you know him? Yeah? How? At the most inconvenient moment, the warning bell tolls. Yahiko immediately grins. Whoops, guess that's the bell. I mustn't have my perfect reputation tainted with rumors of tardiness. He strides to our classroom, beckoning for me to follow. Even stranger. This episode is so dark. Compared to like all the beginning episodes, like when first starting out, like everything's so happy and like, you know, maybe it's like a sense of like being comfortable just like hits you in the face. This like the bad stuff's happening now. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I apprehensively walk alongside him, wondering just how much I actually know about Yahiko Akari. I used to believe that I knew everything about Yahiko. He seemed simple at first glance, as readable as my books from 3rd grade. I still remember how he looked, somehow pulling 3 bulky suitcases through the door with his skinny arms. He was smiling then, too, in fact. I rarely saw him without his smile. "Hello, Rumi." I had already unpacked and was currently lying in my bed, reading some novel or another on my phone to pass the time. I didn't even look up to issue my greeting. "Yo." "The name is Yahiko Akari. From today and onward, I am your new overlord." This caught my attention. I hastily glanced up. The first thing I noticed was his hair. It was bright yellow. For one thing, that made it pretty noticeable. It was also cut around his face in swaying layers like he was some kind of idol. The next thing I noticed were his shoes. Most of the kids at the academy had nice shoes, of course, but his were on a different scale of nice. They were loafers, brown, like usual, but they were also etched with unusual designs that glowed with the sheen of some expensive material. Later, I found out that they were custom made from Italy. Not that I needed to know that to make my judgment. I returned to my book, bored. Womanizer, rich kid, arrogant, neat freak. At the very least, his type wouldn't be a terrible roommate, as long as I didn't have to talk to him. When I think about it now, it really shouldn't come as a surprise that his parents are higher-ups at Lemniscate. His grades are nowhere good enough to get a scholarship, and yet he waltzes into this expensive, prestigious school wearing Italian loafers and probably scarves from Sweden. Not to mention that, as ignorant as he might be in anything of value, he's always up to date on the latest pop culture and technological releases. "Hey, pay attention to me." What does that mean? So, you're paying attention? I expected him to explode in a fit of angry entitlement. "Do you know who I am? Do you know who my father is? Do you know what I could do to you?" But he did something completely unexpected. He dropped his luggage and immediately raced to my side, his eyes shining. "Are you speaking another language?" "I've always wanted a multilingual minion. This is perfect." I amended my first impressions from arrogant to crazy. Regardless, this was a pretty good opportunity to have some fun. Can you write that all down? You can't write? Does that mean yes or no? So wait, what? I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm like, The bewilderment on his face was so genuine that I couldn't help but laugh. Of all the people I'd met, this guy had to be the most gullible. "My name's Yama." Oh, I understood that." "Really?" "Yes, well, it's only to be expected. Someone as amazing as me can pick up languages in a snap." "I see. Can you understand this?" "Yeah." "What about this?" "Yeah." "And this?" "I understand it. I understand it all." "Wow, that's amazing. You know all 20 dialects of my language." He beamed with pride. "Of course I do. I'm an Akari." "I see. So, what planet are you from?" "Planet? Well, that was a sudden jump." "Jupiter." "Really? I didn't know people lived on Jupiter." "Not people. Jarzites." I paused for a dramatic effect before reeling off anything that came to mind in that moment. "We are invincible from physical impact. We are humanoid, but our blood is blue. We abhor ethan insects, but have a strong affinity towards animals." Wait, let me take notes on this. I need to know how to best utilize a Jarzite minion." He eagerly dug through his luggage, tossing clothes, cosmetics, and Lemniscate tech here and there in the midst of his frantic search. I shook my head in disbelief. Did he actually believe that I was from another planet? "Okay, I'm ready. Hit me with it." "Write down the following phrase." "Yeah?" "This is a joke." "This is, funny. In our world, that means you're just messing around." Was he serious? "That's what it is, a joke. I'm from Earth." "No, silly, you're a Jarzite." "I was joking. I'm not a Jarzite. I'm an actual human." "What?" Yes, he was serious. He was actually serious. Why did you tell me you were a Jarzite? This guy would pretty much believe anything, wouldn't he? Tired of providing explanations, I simply returned to my book, but Yahiko almost hid it out of my hands. What about your name? Was that a lie too? What? Your name, Yama. If you really want to check, our names are on the door. His face immediately turned blank. I sighed. You didn't see it when you came in? There are 2 nameplates, Yahiko and Yama. Well, my good minion, never fear. I hold nothing against you for concealing such vital information from me. I didn't conceal any. Now, if you may grant me silence, I must unpack. I sighed again and returned to my book, resigning to bear with this obnoxious roommate for the entire year. My opinion of him hasn't changed much since then. He's still egotistical, oblivious, and mildly insane, but he always means well, even in the oddest of ways. Despite my frequent criticism of him, his stupid actions actually cheered me up. Now that he seems to be struggling with something, I want to repay the favor. Strangely enough, Yahiko doesn't give me a single glance all throughout class. In fact, he's completely silent, speaking only when the teacher calls on him, and his answers are correct. It's enough to startle the entire class. On any other day, they'd probably gossip about it. Today, though, there's obviously more important things to discuss. Classes proceed as usual, but no one seems to be paying attention. Even the teachers are out of it. Lectures are barely coherent. When lunch break arrives, I'm ready to speak with Yahiko, but a sudden cold voice interrupts me. Hey, you! I turn around apathetically. A stocky boy is standing before me, fists clenched. Oh, wasn't this the guy who was talking with Yahiko this morning? And you are? Haru Bunya. Never heard of you. I try to walk past him, but he refuses to move. I'm a friend of Shoji. I stop cold at that. I was there when you said those words to him. What do you want me to do? Apologize? That'd be a good place to start, yeah? Guilt and anger intertwine in the pit of my stomach. We didn't know she was dead then. You mocked him for worrying while she was being murdered. Have you seen the average high school Have you seen them? How can you be their judge without knowing anything about them? Is that any excuse to pick on Rue, on Airi? What about spreading fake rumors? Look, you're not the only one at fault, but would you be saying the same thing if you found that the girl you loved was murdered in cold blood? The words hit harder because, yes, indeed, I've thought of them myself. So is he admitting that he loves Rue? Oh. I'm sorry. Don't say that to me. Without warning, he grabs my school tablet straight out of my hands. I'm too stunned to even stop him. Then he taps something on the notes section, 10 digits, bold and clean, cut on the screen. A phone number. Say that to him. He hands me back my tablet before striding out of the classroom, leaving me shaken. I immediately head to the rooftop to get some fresh air. Haru's words echo and re-echo in my skull with every step. Your fault. She's dead. Too late. I shove them out as I burst through the door. I nearly rush into a face full of plants in my haste. The sunlight angrily cuts into my eyes as I slump on the nearest bench, breathing deeply through my nose. I just need some rest, some silence, some... Watch out! I jerk upright as a giant monster of fluffy fabric plummets through the air, pelting the space where my head was just moments ago. Suddenly, a very large, warm weight plops squarely on my lap, and I feel a tickle of velvety hair against my cheek. In the space of 10 seconds, I've somehow acquired an Akira Karube sitting on the edge of my knees, hands braced against my shoulders, nose just an inch away from mine. I don't even have time to be embarrassed. As quickly as she landed on me, Akira jumps away, flushing a brilliant red. I'm sorry, Yama. I didn't mean... A response tumbles out of my mouth before I have time to think. What? It's fine. But it's so... It's fine, really. Akira buries her face in her hands, thoroughly mortified. I seize the moment to glance around, trying to figure out what just happened. The fabric beside me seems to be a pile of costumes, silk and satins in rich colors, meticulous embroidery, and white lace are just some of the materials that catch my eye. It's an enormous pile. I can't believe she was trying to carry it by herself. Are these for the drama club? Yes, we're having dress rehearsal for an impromptu show after school. You should come. Come and give your undying support to Rue. I've never seen her in such a strange mood before. Akira may be Akira, but something seems to be bothering her intensely. Maybe I should ask her about it. Sure, let's ask her. Say, is everything okay? Of course, everything is greater than gravy, brighter than rain, peachier than the peachiest peach poacher who possibly poached a plethora of peaches. Yeah, something's definitely suspicious. It almost feels like she's trying too hard. You sure? My, you've gotten quite observant, haven't you? She shuffles backward, clasping her hands together. The truth is, I'm nervous. I relax. Well, that was anticlimactic. Nervous for... Izumo is about to explode in 30 seconds if I can't disarm the bomb in time. Then why are you wasting time around here? Oh, Admiral, you have no sense of humor. On the contrary, you should have played along. Her shoulders loosen from their prior tension as she releases a tiny giggle. You strike a fair point. Very well, I admit it. I, Akira Karube, veteran of the drama club, am nervous for a little impromptu performance. Oh, the shame, the dishonor, the... Isn't it just your second year in the drama club? Huh? Anyone would get stage fright. Even lifelong actors get stage fright. All you can do is practice. Practice? Why, I dare say that's a great idea. Of course it is. So, wanna be my partner? Wait, what? This is probably the last thing I'm in the mood for. No. Ugh, I didn't even tell you what to do. What do I need to do? You just need to stand there like a candle on a stick. No. Admiral Meaniehead. Just ask Rue. I should. That's an unusual response. You don't want to? It's not a question of wanting to. Then what's the question? On the contrary, what is the answer? What? The question doesn't matter, so long as you have the answer. You can find the answer if you have the right question. You can also find the question if you have the right answer. Purple. Eh? I just gave you an answer. What's the question? Oh, you're a sneaky one, Admiral Meaniehead. I see I've underestimated you. I can't help but chuckle at that. So, will you help a comrade in need? I want to say yes, but I decide to play around a little more. Maybe. There is no middle ground. Choose this day which side you take. I recommend you choose wisely. Then no. Ugh. Please. Fine. Really? Yes. I don't trust you. Why? I said fine. Any man who is so quick to change his mind should not be trusted. I don't blame her. Something about being around Akira makes me whimsical. Maybe she's rubbing off on me. Regardless, I slap my hand on my chest and salute and bow. I swear, I'll be your practice partner for this lunch period. Satisfied? Swear upon the grave of protein shakes and molasses, and we have a deal. Protein shakes and... no, I shouldn't even be surprised at this point. I solemnly swear upon the grave of protein and molasses. Protein shakes! Protein shakes and molasses that I'll be your practice partner for this lunch period. I accept this oath and bind it to... You know, time's running out. If we're going to practice, we should do it now. Party pooper. Akira clears her throat and steps away, closing her eyes. Despite myself, I feel a rush of excitement. This is just like when Rue and I played make-believe. Akira suddenly whips around, flinging an arm towards me, her entire posture thrumming with power. I see you have finally arrived, sacred star flame. Truly, it is perfect timing. You get a front row seat to the mass zombification of your people. Sacred? Starflame? What kind of character would that be? Not today, Shadow Bell. I shall purify your soul, then purify the planet. We shall see. First you must proceed through me. O spirit of the cosmos, bond with the summoners of the abyss and heed my call. Expatriate this world. Akira lunges for the pile of fabric on the bench, withdrawing a long, narrow paintbrush out of nowhere. What kind of practice is this? Activate Orion Microcell, Abolishment Prototype. 14. I think that's 14. She twirls the paintbrush with expert precision in her hand and jabs it at me. Am I supposed to follow through with this? I glance around for something to match her paintbrush, but find nothing other than a hand shovel. I pick it up with two hands, making it as if it's heavy. Angels of light and flyers of freedom, bestow me with your blessings and don me with fitting arms to combat your mortal enemy. Light Spear, initiate! I swivel the shovel around my head, weighing it like some kind of giant halberd. She seems to understand. You are stronger than I expected. It appears that just one blow from your cursed weapon shall wipe me from existence. Of course, you'll have to hit me first. She dashes in, jabbing the paintbrush at my side. I fling myself away, swinging my shovel towards her, but she nimbly drops to the ground. I take a second for recovery, which she seizes to land a solid poke on my shin. Ow! I'll bite your kneecaps. She pulls away. I swing the halberd straight for her skull, but she leaps with cat-like grace, thrusting her rapier straight to my heart. I immediately parry the tip with my hilt, driving the edge towards her, but she easily disengages. Truly, your name as a being of power is justified, Sacred Starflame. As is your name as a being of corruption, Shadow Bell. I'll take that as a compliment. She stabs again. This time I'm ready. I catch the rapier and twist it, sending it spiraling out of her grasp. Ah! Give it up, Shadow Bell. Justice demands retribution. Well, that's unfortunate, because it sure won't be getting any. She backflips upon the nearest bench, absently. I'm impressed by her agility, and raises a hand to the sky. Power of the sea and stretch of the sky, intertwine to formless void, and enrich this humble vessel with the glory of your eternal wrath. Could this be a finishing blow? I sign you onto the crimson depths of craven oaths and relieve you of your ancient constraints. Millennial Acre Crescent Destruction! She flips to the ground and lands in a somersault, crashing her fist to the ground. I fly back, crumpled against the nearest tree. Ugh. She recovers her rapier, pointing it at my throat. Any last words? I tighten my grip on my halberd, willing all strength to my arms. Not yet. I slam my foot against the hilt of her rapier, turning it to the side as I roll away. As she stumbles for balance, I swing my halberd clean at her neck. She barely dodges in time. Clever trick. I'll be sure to relate that to the High Order. Oh, I tire of your paltry existence. You're like an incessant, irritating insect that means nothing to me. You are dirt beneath my shoe, a pebble in my ocean, a speck of dust on... I swing my halberd at her and chop her head off. Whoa, Yama! Admiral Meaniehead? Yes? You interrupted me. I was subverting expected dramatism. If we had an audience, they probably would have laughed. But overly long monologues are the best part of being a villain. I break into laughter as I return the shovel to its rightful place. Maybe so, but they're useless. The villain is leaving himself vulnerable for way longer than he should. Akira fixes her eyes on me for a moment, a small, affectionate smile curling at her lips. Yeah, I guess you're right. Her light giggle emphasizes the flush in her cheeks. I realize that the heaviness in my mind has completely dissipated. Hey, Akira. Thanks. What for? The fun. It was crazy, of course, but fun. I'm glad. She suddenly wraps her arms around her body, looking intensely vulnerable. Oh no. What? I shouldn't have. Suddenly, she scoops up the pile of fabric and races to the door. Is that the bell? Why, I do declare that that's the bell. Goodbye, Admiral. Without another word, she kicks the door open and races down the stairs. It slams behind her, leaving me alone on the rooftop. I head back to my classroom in total bewilderment. Why does Akira have to operate without rhyme or reason? She was completely fine up until the very end. Then, out of the blue, she just snapped. Either way, I did have fun. Akira's antics really cleared my mind. I just wonder why she's acting so strangely. I make it to my seat right as the bell rings, hailing another period of gossip-ridden classes. Surprisingly, the PA clicks on and a special video announcement by the principal is streamed to our whiteboard. Good afternoon, students. As you are well aware, we have found ourselves in a most tragic and bewildering turn of events. We request that throughout the following circumstances, you remain calm. Rest assured that above all else, the Academy prioritizes your safety. The first matter, we emphatically request that you refrain from any communications with the media. Our faculty and partners are diligently working to solve the matter at hand and will deal with any questions aimed their way. Secondly, classes will continue as scheduled. Please do not neglect your studies. Special security is employed to keep you safe. Thirdly, in order to best ensure your security, curfew has been moved from 11:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Please consider this timekeeping when you make plans. Try to refrain from being out of the school when alone. I expect groans from the student body, but there are none. People must be really scared. What I find interesting is the implementation of a harsher curfew when all the disappearances have been taking place inside campus after curfew. Maybe they're just trying to hide the truth? Please keep this security measure in mind as you plan your day. In accommodation, the dormitory recreation rooms, exercise rooms, and practice rooms will be open for 24 hours. Off-campus students are strongly advised to adhere to similar guidelines. Thank you for your patience. The video shuts off, leaving the classroom in silence. Our teacher rises to the front of the room, visibly shaken. Well, that was very informative. Let's continue. I glance over at Yahiko. His face is completely blank, but I can see his knuckles turning white against his desk. Unfortunately, right as I attempt to start a conversation, the teacher calls on me. By the time I remember my original intentions, school's already ended. Yahiko bolts from his seat immediately after dismissal, barely sparing me a second glance. Even Elizabeth splits from her groupies before I can catch her. I spend a few moments, still and silent, in my chair. Alone, completely alone. Have you seen Beth? Dude, her eyes are freaking green! They were brown! Dude, I don't know, this girl. I jerk upright and come face to face with Natsuki Tanaka. She's smiling, standing upright in her pristine, neatly ironed academy uniform. Her eyes are bright and clean and nothing like the girl I met the previous night. I feel a curdle of disgust in the pit of my stomach. Disgust, and if I'm honest with myself, a tinge of fear. You just missed her, but you probably already knew that. And if I did, then I would assume that you wanted to talk to me. Why would I want to do that? You're the one with all the answers. She giggles slightly behind her hand. I get the sickening feeling that she's enjoying this. If perchance you see Beth, do give her my regards. Why don't you just tell her yourself? I wonder. What? What did that mean? She turns on her heel and drifts away without another word. I clench my hands against my desk, fighting to keep my anger down. She's aggravating. She's insane. She's undefeatable. I roughly grab my backpack and exit the school, looking to clear my head again. Dang, it's getting so serious. I idly wander into the streets, feeling the acute pang of loneliness for the first time in a long, long time. Ru and Akira at drama club, Masato at track, Yahiko at I don't even know, probably his own club, Mizaki, who knows, Airi, who knows, Elizabeth, who knows. Not only that, but no one really knows about the investigations. No one knows the crimes as much as I do. No one knows what I've been up to. No one, of course, except Mr. Ryota. I could visit him, but at the same time, it doesn't feel right. Like I'm using him as my crutch instead of learning to function in society on my own. I wanted to get rid of that. I wanted to learn how to be independent. But that doesn't really seem to happen. The first crutch was... Well, the second crutch was my parents. They made sure I received proper care from therapists, stayed physically healthy, and completed my schoolwork even when I least wanted to. The third crutch was and is Ru. I intended to come to the school with her so that I could learn to be self-sufficient. I'd be able to develop into a person that could impress his parents. I could be intelligent, wise, capable, full of initiative. I could finally find the identity of Yama Ishimoto. But instead, I just clung to Ru and stuck to my old ways, because there's no reason to try for anything risky when something familiar will suffice. I need to get over that. I need to prevent myself from gaining a fourth crutch. A sudden strain of piano breaks through my thoughts. I instinctively turn to the source of the noise and find myself staring straight at Cafe De La Paix. The melody is simple, but somehow eloquent. Curious, I try to glance through the window. To my surprise, I find Elizabeth Oshiro seated before a polished ebony grand, fingers plodding determinedly across the keys as she bites her lip in concentration. Odd, I didn't know she played piano. I'm struck with a sudden urge to talk to her, but I fight against it. She'll probably just drive me insane, right? I don't know, let's go talk to her. I mean, Yama's been having a pretty shitty 2 days, so I can't help it. I need some company. Heck, maybe some good old-fashioned arguing would cheer me up. When I enter the cafe, Elizabeth abruptly ceases her playing and leaps to her feet. You, what are you doing here? I grin at her obvious discomfort. I'm a customer. Why else would I be here? Then go ahead and talk to him. He'll take your order. I'm on break. She nods at the counter, where a kindly barista is waiting to take my order. Then she turns back to the piano. I only plop next to her. How can I resist the seduction of a mediocre piano player? She colors, fingers curling against the keys. Waiter, tell this person that he should leave if he's not going to buy anything. Waiter, tell dear Elizabeth Oshiro that I'm about to buy a croissant. I love croissants. They're my favorite pastry. Oh, they're so good. The butteriness and Then tell this person that he should go buy a croissant instead of paying his attentions to a mediocre piano player. Tell dear Elizabeth Oshiro that you have more than enough intelligence to know that I'm buying a croissant without having to go to the counter and point it out. Waiter, tell this person that he's a boorish prat. Waiter, tell dear Elizabeth Oshiro that she ought to come down and have a spot of tea. Elizabeth is still for a moment, then she turns to me, a dangerous smile on her face. Enlighten me, Yama Ishimoto. To what ideal do you expect one's piano skills to measure up? Something not terrible. Such as... I blurt the first piece that comes to mind. I can't lose face now. Chopin, I guess. Or Chopin. Chopin? That's a tall order. In that case, do you know any person with not terrible piano skills? Many, just not you. Of course, I assume that you yourself are well versed in piano to be confident enough to judge me. So this is what she had up her sleeve. Just because I don't play myself doesn't mean that I can't tell good playing. Ah, you must be the same way with making friends. I feel her words like a punch to my gut. I have more than enough good friends. Oh? Maybe I'm just not stupid enough to befriend people like you. Well, I could say the same for you. And what kind of person am I? She spent a moment in silence, clearly collecting herself for a reply. Lazy, spoiled, rude, insensitive. Surprise, surprise. She rolls her eyes and returns to the piano. I tried to find a reply, but before I can make a move, the barista thrusts something at me. Croissant. I stare at the pastry for a moment before I realize what he means. Oh, thanks. I take the croissant from him, dropping some cash in his hand. He returns to the counter. I bite into the buttery croissant as I mumble in Elizabeth's direction. Seems like you had a lot of pent-up anger. What? I was expecting you to threaten me again, as you seem to enjoy doing. I'm feeling generous today. I'd use many words to describe you, but generous isn't one of them. Yeah, you seem to prefer lazy, spoiled, rude, and insensitive. Elizabeth's eyes widen. She studies my face avidly, a clear tilt of confusion to her brow. What? You sounded exactly... She trails off, regaining control of herself. Nothing. That didn't look like nothing. She clearly ignores me and sets her fingers to the piano, pressing slowly on the keys. The sweet, simple melody fills the cafe with a relaxing vibe. I settle back, munching on my croissant. Suddenly, Elizabeth stops, glaring at me. Stop that. Stop what? Stop staring at me. You know, I vaguely recall having this conversation before. Because we have. What if I like staring at you? This brings a completely different reaction than I expected. Elizabeth turns beet red and shoves me away. What are you bloody talking about? Her extreme reaction immediately puts me on defensive. I was just... You can't say things like that. What the heck happened to the cool and collected Elizabeth just a few moments ago? It's not a big... Words like that mustn't be thrown around so trivially. What's gotten into you? Nothing. Nothing. I'm going to practice. She quickly starts plopping on the keys. The notes are harsh and flat, grating against my ears like broken glass. I'm tempted to supply some dry commentary, but manage to hold my tongue out of curiosity. What could be causing such drastic behavior? I said, stop staring at me. I said, what if I like? Fine, stare, whatever. She continues mashing on the piano, her hair flying about her face from her hurried motions. After a few minutes, though, her tune begins to mellow. She returns to her previous song, slowing her fingers to a tender touch. I sit in silence, passively watching this transformation as I finish my croissant. I expect Elizabeth to ignore me for the rest of her practice session, but surprisingly, she's the first one to speak. My mother loved the piano. I hold back a teasing comment, intrigued by her unusual mood. And? My grandmother said that she used to be quite good at it. So that's why you play? No. She plays in silence for a moment longer. Right as I start to wonder if she's bipolar, she speaks again. There is one thing that people say I can't do. Piano? Music in general. I can't sing, can't play an instrument, can't even dance. I'm going to change that next year. I feel a spark of irritation. There, again, the girl who controls the future has made another appearance. Why? Well, naturally, then I'll be perfect. That's stupid. Maybe to you. Then again, you wouldn't know anything about perfection. I doubt you've ever tried to obtain it. I just go in circles with this girl. And here I was thinking that she might actually be a civil person, and I might actually have a civil conversation with her. Well, excuse me, Your Majesty, not all of us lowly peasants can be as amazing as you. That wasn't what I... Cheerio, good queen. I have other affairs to see to. This is just like you. You never listen. Yeah, you never ask. You're insufferable. Thank you. I grab my backpack, pressing a discordant key on the piano just to annoy her. Farewell, Princess Barista. Elizabeth is unusually silent as I exit the cafe. Maybe she'll finally start thinking for herself. Or maybe she thought it'd be useless to say anything since you never listen. I shake the thought away. She doesn't deserve my respect. She already ruined the one chance she possibly had. I head into the street as gentle piano drifts behind me. Who's that? What time is it? Getting late. Masato, if you're reading this, you have time for track. Meet me at the school entrance in 5. It's not about track. That's unusual. I've never seen Masato acknowledge my dislike of track or type so properly. Something must be really serious. I pocket my phone and race to the school, all thoughts of Britain and piano and croissants disappearing from my mind. Like earlier this morning, the entrance is all but barren. Looks like most of the students are downtown, relishing their pre-curfew freedom. Masato is crouched against the gates, his every limb slack as he traces empty letters in the ground with his finger. At a closer glance, I realize that his writing is an equation. Sin 2 x plus y plus cos 2 x times y equals 1. Yeah, something's definitely wrong. Hey! Masato stands up at my arrival, but his eyes are fixed on the equation at his feet. Run with me. What? Run. You said this wasn't related to track. I gotta run, damn it. He takes off without warning. Just what has gotten into him? Groaning, I reluctantly jog after him, my feet aching with every step. Oh shit, this is a new scene. We haven't seen this before. Masato turns down a side path past my apartment complex, leading us alongside the river that winds around the district. I recognize the area. We ran it almost every day last year when I was in track. And the river itself, I know very well. He grinds to a halt by the railing and stares into the rippling waters. I wearily glance around as I nudge his arm. What are you even doing? Running. Well, yeah, but here? He says nothing. I check the time. There's still plenty of daylight left. It's only 5, but the new curfew restricts Masato to only 2 more hours outside campus. So, should we keep running? Still nothing. He seems to be bottling up something, searching for words to say. Or, we can wait here. Silence. I give him some space. And wait. And wait some more. And keep on waiting. 15 solid minutes pass before I decide to speak up. Masato, are we waiting here until curfew? Damn it all, ain't no curfew. I startle at his fiery tone, noting for the first time that every muscle is rigid with tension. Hey, are you okay? Yama, tell me something. That depends on what it is. You clowning around with me? What? No. What is with everyone today? Yeah, dude, everyone's acting very strange today. For this episode, like, everyone's being really weird. What is it with everyone today? Why don't you try it, anything? This? Again? How many times do people need to bring this up? I thought you said we weren't gonna... Answer the damn question. Okay, fine. Jeez. If I don't try at something, it's because I don't like it. So, just because you don't like it, you ain't giving it a chance? I already gave it a chance. Real? Because I sure didn't see you give it one. Anger flickers beneath my skin. What is with people giving me a hard time? How could you not see me? We were on the same team. We ain't ever been on the same team, man. Is this because of your delusional competition with me? It ain't delusional. I had a fair chance. What is he even talking about? What fair chance? You already won. I ain't won. I ain't won. Are we speaking the same language here? Damn it. His sudden outburst shocks me. Once again, he takes off running. I follow him to the edge of the river, trying my best to ignore its roaring pound against my eardrums. Just the sound makes bile rise to my throat, but I'm able to push it down. Masato stops just as abruptly as he started, his hands curling against the fence of the canal. You know what makes me real mad, Yama? I wonder. It ain't that I'm supposed to win. It ain't that you skipped track. It's that you never gave it a chance. I gave it more than a fair chance. I just don't like it as much as you do. Guess you're right. What is going on in his mind? That don't make you any better. Maybe I should have been the winner, but I ain't. So you gotta own up to it. Give it a fair chance, man. It's the least you could do. Something dawns on me. Masato, you're not talking about track, are you? For someone so smart, you sure are blind, man. I feel rage bubble out of my mouth. Why do you say that? Why does everybody say that? You're not even being clear. If you really want me to do something about God knows what, you should stop all the cryptic crap. Everyone seems to have all these expectations of me that I keep failing. Well, guess what? I'm gonna fail more. I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna fail again, and I'm not gonna stop until somebody tells me the truth without beating around the bush. I was a damn good assistant. Any other 17-year-old off the street would have been crap. But well, I guess I failed before I even got started. I guess I fail at everything. I guess I shouldn't even try. It's always been that way, Masato, and that's why I don't give track or eating contests or whatever a fair chance. I stopped breathlessly, my heart pounding as if I'd just gotten into a fist fight. Saying those words felt strangely liberating, even if Masato won't understand a thing. There you go, doing it again. Doing what? Only thinking about yourself, as usual. Don't give me that. You done and can. The shackin' ill that 'tis goin' through. The thickness of his accent, paired with the abrupt change of inflections, make him impossible to understand. What are you even saying? Sheck it, you done ken anything. I think he's saying, shit, you don't know anything. Whoa! My bewilderment quickly molds into anger. I grasp him by the shirt, staring him in the eye. Masato, you're not making any sense. Talk to me normally. Talk to me so I can understand you. Talking is meant for damn communication. He grips me back, his face fighting to keep solemn. You know what I'm talking about, man? You always knew. You're just pretending, same as you always do. I snap at the condescending tilt to his tone. I don't know! I release him, and before I know it, my fist is swinging right towards his face. He easily sidesteps, but he's clearly shocked. I don't know anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why any of this is happening. I don't know what's up with you. I don't know what's up with Yahiko, or Akira, or Shigure. I don't know. I swing again, my movements haphazard. Masato dodges. His face flattens as he sends a counter jab. You ever tried to know? You ever fought for something tooth and nail till you feel dead? I did. I tried. But it doesn't matter in the end, eh? 'Cause this is a race where only the boy who can win ain't even running. Whoa! Whoa! Who socked who? My mind runs blank. I can only watch as his fist soars towards me and socks me right in the jaw. I can't even register the pain as I crumple to the ground. The wind knocked out of my back as I stare at the darkening sky. Damn, he just like socked us in the frickin' jaw. Ain't even running. What does he know? What do any of them know? You may think you fully understand the circumstances which surround these crimes, but you are sorely mistaken. Do not be so quick to forget that I am nearly a decade your senior, and have seen a great many cases that are beyond your comprehension. I speak not of your intelligence, but of your mental capacity. You are yet very fragile, Ishimoto, and this case may break you. I ran. The words escape me in a breathless gasp as I fight to stand up. I ran, more than anyone could know. But no one sees. No one sees. Masato doesn't even try to help me. He just stares at me with his arms crossed. In some way, I'm grateful for that. Then you gotta get back up. Get up and show him. And he jogs away without a backward glance. I spend a few minutes in silence to catch my breath. Finally, I'm able to stagger to my feet. The ache in my jaw turns cold from the night air. Why of all days would Masato choose to talk to me? No, not even talk to me, fight with me. I've never seen him so intense before, not even when it comes to track. What could have possibly evoked such a response? I should have gotten angry, not at Masato. He was trying to be honest to me in his own way. I should have stopped to figure out what was wrong. But the words he said... Oh, what the heck? What's going on? I quickly peer over the railing into the river. Even in the dim lighting, I can clearly make out a head of brown hair and two flailing arms. Someone's in the river? A guy's voice tears from the surface of the water as the brown head lurches upward. He gasps for breath, then resubmerges. He'll drown if I don't get him out. Shit, go get him! I tighten my grip against the railing, shaking off my shoes and tossing my jacket to the side. My hands are clammy against the sleeves of my shirt. Calm down, it's just a little water. I can handle a little water. Oh my god! Woo! Yama, you scared the shit out of me. I take a deep breath and hoist myself over the railing, diving cleanly into the river. Remember the lessons. Cold, slimy liquid swirls around me, slicking up every inch of my arms and legs. It stings my nose with a bubbly laugh. No way out. Panic wells up my throat and grips my throbbing jaw. I push myself blindly in the boy's direction, my legs flailing through the undercurrent. Remember the lessons. Remember, lift, breathe, scoop, lift, breathe. The undercurrent suddenly jerks to life, throwing me into a terrifying spin. I pinwheel through the darkness, grasping violently for any kind of stability. No, 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 no. Something grips the edge of my shirt and drags me down. A hand? Is he grabbing me? No! Oh my god, what's happening? Water floods into my nostrils, burning down my throat. My vision spins to black. Dude! Oh my god, we finally get to see the picture! Okay. I'm home. Mizu! Hey, Yams. Where's Mom and Dad? Shopping. Again. Found a new cookie recipe. Uh-oh. Did they make dinner? When did they say they'd be back? Okay, guess we're making dinner. Wait, what? Look, Yams, there's noodles, spinach, carrots, mushrooms, chicken. Let's make noodle soup. We're not tall enough to cook on the stove, sis. Oh. Hey, let's stand on boxes. Boxes? What if they break? They won't break. Probably. Here, I'll get them from the garage. Mizu? Yep, here we go. They're big and empty. Perfect. Isn't that a bad thing? We can do anything if we try hard enough, Yams. Okay, first we need to fill the pot with water. You get this end. I'll get this end. Huff. Heavy. Oof. Woo! See, that wasn't so bad. How do we turn the stove on again? I don't know. Helpful, Yams. This? No. This? I know. This. Huh. I'm turning the knob, but it won't turn on. Maybe it's broke? Hey, there's a box of matches. Uh-oh. Okay, so we just strike it like this. Whoops. Ah, the carpet's on fire. Whoopsie. It's okay. Look, a little water and it's gone. Let's try it again. I can't watch. And there. Okay, Yama, turn the stove to high and stand back. What are you doing? I'm going to toss the match at the stove. 3, 2, 1. Hiya! See, told you it'd work. Aww. I feel dizzy. Now, class, let's try learning how to pronounce some more of these tough words. Open your workbooks to... What the heck? Dude, that's so freaking funny. Brr. Class, calm down. Calm down this instant, or you will be visiting the principal's office. Thank you. Now, who would make such an uncouth or rude noise? The person who tells me first will get a piece of candy. Wow, so many hands. Yuko? It was Yama. Yama Ishimoto, is this true? No. Don't lie. Lying isn't nice, Yama. I'm not. Yama, do you want to go to the principal's office? Yuko says she saw you. We know you did it, Yama. But I didn't. Don't take that tone with me, young man. You're going to the principal's office. But... Mr. Kawaguchi, Yama was being a disturbance in class and would not stop lying about it. I didn't do it. Yama, lying is very serious. You can get in big trouble. But, Yama, I really don't want to call your parents. Can't you tell us the truth? Yama, Stop right there. Ah, Mizu, thank goodness. Maybe you can talk some sense into your brother. The only person I'll be talking sense into is you. Both of you. Mizu, I don't appreciate this disrespectful attitude. You're adults. You should know better. What if Yuko was lying, huh? She lies all the time. How dare you? Yuko is my top student. Yeah, so she knows she can get away with it. Mizu Ishimoto, I will not stand for this. You are being incredibly rude. And you're being incredibly unfair. Yama wouldn't make bad noises, and he definitely wouldn't lie. That's it. I'm calling your parents. They need to teach you some proper respect. You want my respect? Then earn it. Come on, Yama. We're going home. Oh my god. I love her already. She's just, she's trying to protect Yama. And she's just telling it how it is. Okay. How much longer? I don't know, Yams. This is the detour bus, remember? I don't like blizzards. Oh, don't say that. Look how beautiful it is. Beautiful what is? Outside. Can't even see anything. I meant the snow, silly. Still not like our normal bus. Oh, Yams. I'm bored, Mizu. Take a nap. But I'm not tired. Why don't you make some friends? There's a nice looking person across the aisle. No, people are scary. Then do your homework. But I'm too tired. I thought you just said you weren't tired. I changed my mind. Come on, Yams. Be a big boy. Look, it's the Rainbow River. Isn't it pretty? Rivers are boring. Look at the snow. Isn't it just wonderful? Snow is boring. Okay, Yams, what's wrong? Don't say it's 'cause you're bored. I told Chio that she has cooties and she touched me. What? What if I get cooties, Mizu? Then I'll die and I won't be able to get the new Rego City blocks next week. Where did she touch you? My arm. Here. I'll give you a shot. I hate shots. It's okay. This one won't hurt. Are you sure? Well, not too much. Circle, circle, dot, dot. Now you got the cootie shot. So I won't die? Yeah. That's what shots do, right? Aww. Whoa. What's that noise? Yeah. Thanks, sis. What's happening? I suddenly emerge into reality, vision hazy, lungs burning. I feel myself cough instinctively. Water spurts from my mouth onto the ground. That's right. I'd never been a fan of this river. You. A firm hand slaps against my back. I spew another mouthful of brine. I can't believe I'm doing this. Why am I doing this? The vague shapes before my eyes finally consolidate into clear outlines. I'm lying by the side of the canal, clothes plastered to my skin, every inch of my body pulsing with a dull pain. A fellow student is kneeling beside me. Judging from his drenched clothing and mop of brown hair, I deduce that he's the guy who was drowning earlier. He looks vaguely familiar. Should have expected something like this. Of all people, it had to be you. My weak mind scrambles to find a link. You're Shoji. I didn't know I made such a forgettable impression. His impression was anything but forgettable. What throws me off is his face, his eyes. Once clear are dull and haggard with exhaustion. His skin is pallid and unsightly. His hair is ragged, as if it hasn't been combed in days. He practically looks like a ghost. I clear my throat, trying to work past the sudden awkwardness. Right, Shoji. Yeah, Akane's ex-boyfriend, who'll probably get over her in a week or two. I feel the compulsion to apologize, but can't bring myself to do it. Instead, I pick up my jacket, staring at the ground. Why did you save me? I didn't. I saw you dive in. Actually, he brings up a good point. If I almost drowned, then who got Shoji out? Who got me out? I don't know. I suppose I should thank you. Don't. It wasn't me. Good. Saves me the trouble of finding some awkward excuse. I feel the edge to his words as he turns away. I instinctively call after him. Why were you in the river? He pauses, an unreadable grimace crossing his lips. You're the genius. Figure it out. He disappears into the street, leaving nothing but a scattered trail of water behind him. I stare into the sky for a long moment, huddled against the slight warmth of my dry jacket. Who saved us? Why? I fist my hands in the hem of my jacket, collapsing back to the ground. Useless, again. Couldn't even swim in a pathetic little canal. Not only would I have failed to save Shoji, but I would have just drowned myself. I should be over it. I should be fine by now. 10 years. I lace my fingers through the sparse blades of grass by my head until they dig into my skin. Too many names. Shoji, Yahiko, Masato, Mizu. Can't do anything about them. You're the genius. Figure it out. I sit abruptly, a sudden possibility crossing my mind. Could Shoji have been the next target? Maybe the murderer was trying to drown him. Maybe he knew something about the murderer. But why wouldn't he tell anyone? I sink to the ground, back to square one. I don't know why Shoji was in the river. I don't know why Masato suddenly upset. I don't even know who saved us from drowning. I wearily hoist myself to my feet and shove my shoes over my soggy socks. The journey back to my apartment is only filled with more questions. The moment I'm back, I take a quick shower, still feeling grimy from the river water. As I soak my uniform in a tub of detergent, my phone suddenly pings in my pocket. I wipe off my hands before I steal a glance. Going home? All of a sudden. Going home tonight. Parents sign exemption from curfew. You don't need me for anything, right? Well, I guess that her house is only 1 hour away by the subway, but by the time she gets back, it'll already be 8:30. I'm fine. Everything okay? I wait, but don't receive another message. Well, suit herself. At least I asked. I hang my uniform over the shower and head to the living room. Plopping down on the sofa, it's been such a long day. It's definitely nice to catch my breath for a second. Or not. I wearily crack open the door, but it's just Misaki, twirling her phone between her fingers in obvious worry. Alright guys, I'm going to end the episode right here. Make sure you share the content. If you're enjoying my playthrough of Lucid 9 Inciting Incident, please leave a like. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments. And make sure to subscribe and click on that bell button to get notifications for when I upload the next episode of Lucid 9 Inciting Incident. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great night. Bye!